Hello and welcome to Liz Bolter Wisdom. So this is the third video of my personal challenge to make a video every single day for 1 week talking about my work. So welcome. So this video, I've decided to share with you the work that I do with people and with myself, connected to what we can call other lives, or as I call them, other stories of consciousness. So most of you will probably be familiar with the term past lives, and I'll do that. Past lives. Those people who know me well know I do that a lot when it comes to anything time related. So past lives, other lives, parallel lives, concurrent lives, lives between lives, possible future lives. We're very busy people. So first of all, just to bring this into a context of where most of us are living, is that we live generally in a perceived reality, a collective reality, where we see that we live in what we call linear time. So past, present and future. And for most of us, that's how we kind of get on with our lives, and that's how we live on a day-to-day basis. I think for more people though, more and more people, especially people potentially doing the work that I do, similar work, we straddle those lives, and we don't necessarily, we're very conscious of the fact that we're not living in linear time, and that is just one way of perceiving what's happening. And as soon as we make a choice to perceive something in a certain way, especially if there becomes a collective choice, then obviously that appears to be reality. So stories of consciousness, that's a term that came to me in a meditation rather than calling them other lives, past lives, etc. So I'll kind of dip in and out of this different language. So I first found that I was able to tap into past lives when I was a reflexologist. So this was 20 plus years ago, and I was running a busy practice as a reflexologist, and I discovered that when I was working on people's feet, I would get visions. This was all something that had been happening to me for many years anyway, but doing that type of work really accelerated it. And I would get this feeling that this person has experienced something already, but they don't look the same. So I'd get these kind of literally like little videos that run in my mind, although sometimes they seem as though they are in front of me as well. So so I'd kind of get these little videos. I'd get these really strong feelings that this person that I was working on had experienced something, and potentially they had a very different life. They were potentially experiencing things that were different to what they were experiencing in this what we call this life. So I began through reflexology at the time to support people to release those past lives that were not that were rising and that were not serving them. So part of me likes to see this as I say, it's almost like a series of different levels of consciousness, different stories of consciousness that we have within our own personal energy field, or that we choose to allow to rise in our personal energy field. So with past lives or other lives, Why would you want to know them? Why would they be relevant to who you are now? Is there any point in knowing them? Might be interesting to know, but is there any real point in knowing them? What I have found so much over all these years is that they are relevant. And what they are, I feel, is that, again, they begin to rise in us, these other stories of consciousness, these other lives that we have potentially lived or will live or could possibly be living alongside. Rise certain stories, certain emotions in us, and we then play out those stories almost as a match, almost as a kind of mirror to them in the life that we're living right now. So people sometimes wonder, you get stuck in a rut. You kind of have blocks about why you can't move forward with certain things. You don't know why you keep behaving in certain ways. And there's nothing that you can trace necessarily in this particular existence. And so then what I've found is that these other lives, these other stories of consciousness are kind of tapping us on the shoulder. And they're kind of bringing messages. They're bringing support messages. And if we choose to listen to them, then we can understand why potentially we are behaving in the way that we are in this lifetime, why we have certain blocks in this lifetime, and why potentially we might be drawn to certain places, certain things, certain passions, certain people, and certain patterns. And so by knowing our other lives, to me, that supports us to make, to kind of give us a mirror. It's almost like reading a storybook. When we read a story that we resonate with, that can be very healing to us. If we read a story, even if it isn't exactly the same, but there are themes, there are metaphors, there are something. There's something about that story that resonates with you. It supports a part of you then to be able to potentially, if you choose, to allow that to heal, to allow those patterns, those stories to heal within you. So I get very strong resonance of what feel like past lives, what we would in this perception of reality that we would call past, and also concurrent lives, so lives that are running alongside the life that we are living right now. And kind of with my psychology hat on, we can potentially see those concurrent lives as ways of disassociating from our actual life. But we can also see them as messengers, as again, just that our consciousness is able to be in more than one place at one time. Our consciousness is not fixed to a particular time and space. And so our consciousness is able to be in the past, to be in possible futures. It's able to be in parallel, some people use the term timelines. And it is possible to shift. It is possible to shift between those. I might do a whole thing on timelines at some point. But bringing up our stories, why? Why do we need to know them? Why is it important? What can you get from knowing your past lives or other lives that will support you in the here and now? because I'm very much about bringing all of this into the here and now. How can this support you? So the mirrors that these are reflections, the mirrors that these stories bring up, these stories of consciousness, can help you to often have an aha moment and just, wow, okay, yeah, that story is so similar. That theme is so similar. I'm not living that life now, but actually, I still feel like that. I still feel that fear, that grief. I still have those really strong feelings in me, and so it allows some context to our feelings, to our emotions, to our patterns, to our blocks, to the way that we behave, the way that we respond. And so then by allowing those other stories of consciousness to rise up, to be heard, we can then allow them to be healed. And there's often very deep work that happens in the healing of these other stories of consciousness. And that's done in many different ways through the work that I do. Sometimes just hearing them is enough. Sometimes that aha moment is enough. So all of this brings you more clarity, more connection with yourself, with your wider self, with your whole self, and allows you to move forward with the stories that you want to move forward with. So some of our other life stories of consciousness stories are fantastic. We want them. We would cherish them. They're really kind of a really positive part of ourselves that drive us. You know, that we're interested in something. We want to go that way. We want to go to that country. We want to meet those people. We're interested in a particular philosophy. Whatever it is. You know, a lot of those passions can come from that, can come from our other stories of consciousness. So they serve you. So it's looking again what's actually serving you in the here and now, and what would be better to work to release, to heal, to release, to hear. So yeah. Get in touch if you are interested in working with me with your other stories of consciousness. These often come up in soul readings and also in other work that I do. So any hands-on work that I do, distant healing work, and working with people as a spiritual mentor. And it's not allowing these other stories of consciousness to manage you. It's allowing you to utilize them. And I believe we really can, you know, and I've certainly, on a personal level, the other lives that have come through for me, and they've come through at various times. One's felt more, much stronger in my energy field, and influencing me much more strongly, and then that will potentially dissolve or just kind of retreat, and then maybe another one might come up, and working through those consciously has really supported me in my development, and being able to step more into who I am here and now. So me as Liz Bolter in this reality, this thing we call reality, right now. What is my story? What is this story that I am working through right now? And knowing that it kind of offers, say, clarity, maybe a level of purity to that story. So I've not got all these kind of attachment stories that are weighing me down potentially. So I hope that explains a little bit about that side of the work that I do. I could potentially talk forever about all of this. But get in touch. I'm always open to answering questions. Just reach out if you are interested in working with me, or if you have a question, or you just want to say hi. Maybe you're doing something similar. Maybe you have a similar way of working. Maybe it's something you're just interested in and you don't know why. Stay in touch, and thank you very much. I hope you have a wonderful day or wonderful evening, depending on what time you're watching this. And if you get a chance, please, if you could like and subscribe and all those shenanigans, that would be fantastic. And that's it. Thank you very much. Bye.